to your garden, I eat from your tree, I step in your river, and it takes me deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over in my dreams. What's up, everybody? We are here. We're live. Huh?
We are Jatan.
How don't I have you up? Oh, okay. Say that again.
No, I thought you were going to say, we are Jatan.
No. Wasn't going to do that. But we are, and Stan, but we are officially the Young Lions, if you can't see. And we are live Wednesday, a day later, because of the holiday, you know, a lot of stuff going on. We had to do an impromptu rehearsal last night, so we are live a day later. So shout out to everybody who's watching. Listen, we're here. We're going to talk about some stuff. You're watching Young Lion TV. Hopefully this all works properly.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, won't you get up and stop fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding.
Yeah, John changed the shortcuts on me, but it's all good. I figured it out. Yeah, but shout out to everybody who is watching right now. Please hit that share button, hit the like button. There's so much going on right now. We got inflation going crazy. Gas prices are through the roof. We got mass shootings going on. I heard about another one, I think, that just happened a couple hours ago in Oklahoma or something like that. Yeah.
I know another one happened in New York, right? Or stabbing, I think it was.
Yes, it's just, you know, things are going crazy right now. We got, you know, weather issues, all kind of stuff happening. So, you know, just hit the like button, hit the share button if you care about topics like this and you want to hear people talking about stuff like this. And we got Moan with me, we got Stan with me.
What up?
We got Jake.
Hey, what's up, guys?
You guys are looking a little dark over there on that side,
Aren't they
aren't
dark?
they?
They're
A little
dark.
dark on that
Sorry,
side.
it's me.
Darkness.
Just my
falls
tabs.
across the line.
Why is it so dark over there?
Stand with the patriotic.
See, this is stuff y'all need to work out.
Yeah, I'd rather have. The
You talking
Jatan
about
show.
y'all need to work out.
Because
Yeah, we should do a American flag young lion or something.
Yeah, we should.
You want to do that? Okay.
Let me see. Yeah, I don't know.
We're not
Change
dark.
it on the
Lighting is
camera.
dark for y'all. Maybe move that light towards them a little bit more. Is that light not facing y'all?
I don't think so.
it is facing us.
Is it? Is it? Yeah, just
Well, it's not.
the other way.
Yeah, the other way.
Maybe I moved it with that chair. It's a little better, right? No?
Maybe.
Not really?
Maybe. Let me see. We'll see when Stan sits down. Still dark over there.
A little bit better.
It's a little better. It's all right.
It's all
It's
good.
all right. We'll make it work.
It's
Yeah.
all good.
Why are you guys always have such a close camera shot and ours is always far away?
Well, it's because of the table that's here.
Okay.
You see? Usually the camera would be closer to me hitting y'all.
All right.
But because I have to have all this equipment next to me, people can't see it, but I have
Yeah,
two
I try to-
computers, a mixing board, and all
Yeah, I
kinds
try
of stuff.
to get it, you know,
next
so
to
that
me.
way
So
you
I
don't
can
really see the board. And
Yeah,
nothing.
but I have to control all the stuff because we have no production team here today.
Yeah.
It's just
So
us.
we are on our own. We're doing this dolo style. But shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Please hit that like button, guys. Hit that share button. Share this video. Let people know that we're live right now because we're going to get into some real topics. There's a lot of stuff going on, like I was just saying. And we got the fellas with us. But before we get into all of that, listen, if you want to support, if you want to become a member, we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/youngliontv, which you can, bro, that thing just jumped off. There you go. Boom.
Bam.
That's the TikTok right there. But it'll go through all of our social media stuff. But patreon.com/youngliontv. If you want to become a member, you can follow us on all social media. And also, we have our website, jatan.com, JUTAUN.com. If you want to get music and merch, you can get these T-shirts, not on the merch store because we don't have them on there yet, but you can hit us on the Cash App if you want to get the Young Lion T-shirts. It's $ Young Lion TV on Cash App, and just put it in the little subject that you want it for a T-shirt. $20 for the T-shirts. And other than that, yeah. Memorial Day weekend, man.
Yeah.
How was it for everybody?
It's good, man.
What'd y'all do?
So fat.
Yeah,
What'd y'all do?
What'd y'all do?
Nanas.
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah.
I hung out with you.
I was there.
Yeah.
For
Saturday was
Sophia's
nice.
birthday.
Yes.
But what'd y'all do like Memorial Day, Monday?
Monday I went over to Gene's house. Gene had some people over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was down the shore.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went down the shore.
Ocean
Sunday?
Sunday I went down.
Sunday I just chilled.
Sunday. Hold up. Yeah. Yeah, I went down Sunday.
Okay.
But I was fat every day.
Yeah. Well, I know for us, this weekend was all about soccer.
Went out with the bang.
Went out with a bang. Your congratulations to your son.
Yeah.
I mean, your daughter played well too, but I gotta give a shout out to Jakey for his
Victorious.
show
That's
the team right
that's
there.
a nice
Boom.
shot right there, boy.
Yeah. You know, I had to come in there with the real photography on them.
What lens did you use?
That's the 35.
38?
That's the 35 right there. Yeah,
That
and-
35 mil is
Yeah, man.
amazing.
So you tell them your son's team.
Yeah, they're 2013, all born 2013. So they go by age, if you don't know in soccer. So they're on U9 right now.
Under
so they-
9.
Yeah,
Right.
U9, under 9. They've been together for a couple years, and they're progressing. Not a couple years, a couple seasons, actually. Last spring was the first season they were together. So this is their third season together. And it's just crazy how if you know what you're doing, you can progress a team, So it's cool to see that. It's cool to see the kids starting to trust us, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot dealing with kids. It's pushing me past my frustrations, and God has given me understanding and given me ideas on how, because I don't know how do I deal with this person? How do I deal? And it's cool how He gives me these ideas because I didn't know what I was doing. I know soccer, but I didn't know how do I get them to understand it
Right.
and relate to So that was hard, but it's cool. We've won a couple tournaments so far. Came in second to last tournament. Won this tournament. So these kids, I'm proud of these kids.
Coaching both ways. If you're open to it, you learn as
Yeah.
you're teaching.
Yeah, man.
The Lord is coaching you.
Yeah,
coach them.
definitely. And I said this before, but I didn't want to coach, but if there's a need, sometimes you got to just step up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do something, then why not do it? So
Yeah, it's a lot of time, man. A lot of dedication.
yeah,
A lot of dealing with parents. A lot of,
Yeah.
So it's
yeah,
a lot.
But the reward is great.
Yeah.
The reward is great because we're able to influence in love. I say that because I don't want to just influence kids what I want them to know. But influence them in love and build that foundation in love where they can they're receiving that discipline that I know as a kid. Jamie, you remember those things. You remember your coaches.
Yep.
When you're a
The
kid.
good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones who could relate things to you, who really taught you. So
Show that shot right there. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
That was him scoring the first goal in one of their toughest games.
Yeah,
the
the
game they
second.
tied. Yeah. He scored
Yeah,
the
that
first
was,
goal
that
of
was
the
their
game.
toughest game.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's cool to see him coming out of his shell. You know, he's a shy kid.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
When I took the picture of him with his medal, his coach was like, "Wow, he actually smiled," because he just shows like even when he scores his goal, like when you see like all the shots of him scoring his goal, if you just flip through them, it kind of looks like a video, and you just see like as soon as he knows he scores, he literally just turns around and walks away. He doesn't celebrate, he doesn't crack a smile.
Yeah.
He just scores the goal and turns around and walks back towards the
It sounds
center
like
line.
Noah, yo.
Nice.
Noah's the same way.
Yeah.
He doesn't. All the other kids, you know, they're like,
Yeah. When the team actually won the last game and they knew that they were in first place, you see all the kids like they ran up and celebrating, and Jakey just like kind of walks off the field by himself. He's like, yeah, I'm chilling.
yeah,
Like, yeah, cool, we won. But
Yeah.
he was sick too. That was-
Right.
that
He was
it.
there. He was playing sick.
Yeah,
Wow.
he had really bad allergies. He had a fever, so it was like I'm like, yo, you want to play? Yeah, I'm gonna play. So it was cool to see him just like work through that.
Yeah,
you know?
fight through it. That's what's up.
made your kid play with the vid.
He ain't have COVID.
That's a Michael Jordan story, yo. He played with the flu.
Played with that flu, right? Came through for his team. He scored like 4 goals. And how many goals did he score total in the tournament?
I think you're right. 4 or 5. I don't even know, dude.
Yeah. He had a great showing, man. I went to every game, I think.
Nice.
Did you?
I think so.
You were there for the first one
Mm-hmm.
against Winslow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was there.
All right. Yeah, you went to every game.
Yeah. That was a good game.
Yeah.
Second game I was there. I got there right when the second half started. They were already winning 3-0. They scored another goal, and then they called the game because it was about the thunderstorm.
Oh, I thought because they were getting whooped on.
Well, that's why they called it, because they were gonna have them. They were gonna just delay it and have them come back out.
Oh, okay.
But then they were like, no point. But yeah, and then I played soccer all 3 days, so
Nice.
it was. I was beat though on Monday after
Yeah.
that third time playing.
I played no days.
Me either.
I was beat on Monday too, and I only played one day.
Hey,
Yeah,
But also being out in that sun.
Yo, Monday
Yeah,
was
son.
ridiculous.
it was so hot,
It
Yeah.
was so hot.
and I was on the grill, man.
ooh. Yeah.
It was so hot
That's
in
brutal.
front of that grill, I was just drenched in sweat.
Especially if it's beating on you,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's like, with my family, it's like, I talk to my wife, we're not going to do nothing. We just going to sit home, watch some movies.
Yeah.
I got a day off. Next thing I know, my sister's going to come. So, we'll just get some burgers and hot dogs.
Yeah, throw it on the grill.
Then, someone from my ex-boss is going to come over because she don't have nothing to do. Okay. But yeah, that's cool. I have no burgers. We'll just have some burgers. And then Jake and Leslie was going to come too. And then James and Shaniqua came, and then my mom came.
There
So
you go.
Then
now
Jamie
I'm going. Now
Jamie
I'm going.
goes get some octopus.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Some
I
lamb.
had to go to ShopRite and get a bunch of stuff, and we ended up cooking all this food.
Wow.
I didn't end up coming.
No, you ended up not, because
Yeah.
y'all was tired, and
Yeah.
your son had a fever in the morning. So, but yeah, we still had a lot of people there. We cooked so much food, but it was good. It was still fun.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
Yeah, James brought Dylan over.
Okay.
So we ended up having all these people there, and then Mom was telling us about her little
Oh boy.
her
Her
little date / barbecue, but we won't get into that. She's not watching anyway. But yeah, that was my weekend. But yeah, man, I saw a video today on YouTube. It was funny. Someone was in California just going around asking people like, do you know what Memorial Day celebrates? And almost everyone he talked to had no idea what the holiday was even for.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have a clue.
Think about the name.
Yeah.
It's
remembering, honoring the soldiers.
People don't think about stuff like that.
that have fallen for this country.
Yeah. And
That's crazy.
so then he was just like making stuff up, like, yeah, I think it's great that we get together and barbecue to celebrate inclusivity and stuff like that. And people are like, yeah, that's important. We have to do that.
He shouldn't do that because that's giving them too many ideas.
Right.
Because didn't somebody propose that, changing the name of Memorial Day
Did they?
to like honoring trans people because they're brave?
What? No.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, that came up.
Nah.
Stop
Somebody did. I gotta find it.
Find
Yeah,
it.
that's crazy.
Show me.
Yeah, but anyway, so Memorial Day was cool. And then yesterday, we were back on the back on the grind, just looking at the news, watching what's going on, a lot of craziness. I kind of like stayed out of it throughout the weekend, but
Yeah.
I know on Tuesday I was like really digging into a lot of the articles about this this crazy mass shooting in
Uvalde.
Texas. Yeah, in Uvalde.
Yeah.
And like so many of the details were so just crazy. They didn't really make sense. Didn't really add up. Like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I ended up talking. That's why, like I knew some details and some stuff was weird, but I ended up talking to like one of Gene's friends growing up. He still plays basketball with him, and he was just telling me all the things that's just weird about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I talked to you about, before the show. It's a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing being that the door was propped open.
Yeah,
Right.
And they still
And they
don't-
blamed it on the teacher. Did
Yeah,
you see
they-
that in the press
Yep.
conference?
I didn't see that. So they did blame somebody.
They blamed it on the teacher, but they're not really investigating any
Yeah.
further. Like we're not hearing anything about. There's an investigation going on of who left the door open.
Yeah,
It was an hour until they did something.
yeah,
There were 19 cops there.
Yep.
It was an hour. There was kids calling from the rooms.
yeah.
Yeah, there's.
Telling them that there's still kids that are alive in there.
I heard the 911 calls. They're terrifying.
Yeah, the kids.
Yeah.
They're like in there whispering, like, "We need cops,"
What do you do?
And you sitting out there.
It's so sad to me. What do you do as a parent? You're going in there. You're trying to go get your kid, and these cops are literally like stopping you and tasing you and handcuffing you.
Yeah,
To go
people
into
were
the
getting.
school.
I mean, one of the women got handcuffed, and I know like they detained her for a little bit, and then once she calmed down, they let her go, and then she immediately ran
Went
in
in.
there and saved her kids, and
Yeah, dude, I'm going
defied
in.
them.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get my gun and I'm going in.
And
Like,
even the border patrol guy, that officer that ended up shooting him,
Yep.
they stopped him initially, and he got frustrated and went in.
I think there was 3 of them that broke in there without them stopping them.
So-
that ended up ending him.
Why weren't these police officers going in?
That's
They
the
have
question
no
that
answer,
everybody
dude.
has.
They have
I don't even know anything about it. I saw a couple of the.
bro, like there's a
And they're
tweet. There's
geared
a
up.
tweet with a timeline of stuff. I meant to pull it up, but the dude crashed his car across the street, right?
After
At
he
like
killed his
a
grandmother.
funeral
Yeah.
after he killed his grandma,
Shot his grandma.
across the street and was firing
Shot at the
shots,
laundromat.
and they called the cops.
Yeah.
and that was like 12 minutes, and then he ended up walking to the school.
But the cops were already there following him to the school.
Right.
And then at first they said someone confronted him.
Yeah.
But then they changed that
That
story.
turned out to be
Wow.
real.
So even before he went into the school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cops
already-
were there, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cops were there the whole time.
Yeah. And then he went into school and basically locked himself in there.
In the-
and they
Yeah.
let him just have that time. They didn't go in and engage with him at all. They
And
just
Yeah.
one of the stories was they changed it from an active shooter to a barricaded
To a barricaded.
person.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But
that-
once you
but
heard
that-
gunshots,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you hear
Like,
gunshots, and then
he
you
was
get,
firing outside the school.
yeah.
Yo, you're getting kids that's calling. They called multiple times.
Yeah.
Right? They're telling them, and one of the calls they actually heard gunfire on the police call, on the 911 call.
Yeah.
and they still didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was like an hour
Yeah.
until they,
Dude, it was an hour, but who knows how long it would have been. Those Border Patrol agents broke in past the barrier that the police had
Yeah,
set
set
up.
up, yeah.
They went in and defied the police to go kill this guy.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't for
It's-
them, it would have been worse.
All right.
And
Yeah.
none of that makes any sense to me.
And they're trying to give the excuse that the Uvalde is small.
It's small,
and they're not prepared for
but
stuff
if it's
like that,
dude.
But you had dudes in tactical gear.
Yeah.
Somebody's
they
prepared for
They were in
something.
tactical gear. They said they were waiting for those shields or whatever like
Yeah.
that. It's I don't know, dude. Like
Uvalde is small, but let me show y'all this this article from the Daily Mail that I saw that someone tweeted out. Revealed Uvalde School District was part of an AI program that rooted out potential mass killers and monitored social media for threats and potential shooters. So they were already part of a program that was supposed to weed these people out and
Right.
find them on social media.
and he like apparently he was messaging somebody.
He was on a Discord in a chat room talking for people that were racist or him and the Buffalo shooter were in the same Discord. And apparently there was one person that was like talking them into doing this. You know what I mean? In there that they're supposed to be investigating. And there was other people in there that were ex-federal agents that they're investigating, quote unquote.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it all gets kind of weird. And why didn't this come up?
Wow. Sounds like some conspiracy stuff.
Right.
That is
and that's what
coming true.
The first thing I said, I'm like, yo, they're freaking cowards. Like, not even thinking. Jamie's like, yo, it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like it's deeper than that.
I think it's something else.
But that's so sad, dude.
I mean, let's say we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But
like,
if that's the case, you're using kids.
none of this adds up to me though. Like, usually when stuff like it's like the Jussie Smollett story. Like when things are just this weird and
You get a feeling, right?
Like, how do 19 cops stand outside and stop other people from stopping this guy?
Right.
They're hearing gunshots constantly. They're hearing 911 calls. They're getting all but they're waiting for backup. You know, and we all know that since Columbine, police departments changed the protocol for active shooters that even if one of you shows up before anyone else, you have to engage that shooter.
Disarm.
Yeah.
You have to try to engage with them to stop them, because the protocol used to be to wait for backup, secure the perimeter, or whatever.
Yeah.
But after we've had all these Sandy Hook mass shootings, Columbine, all these things, the protocol's changed.
Yeah.
So what went wrong here? And then when you listen to the press conferences, they don't have answers.
They don't have answers, and they're lying.
Yeah.
They're lying, saying
And they're
that
changing
there
the
was
story.
no cops there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's somebody's got to be held accountable, dude. Like that's. I thought it was 14 kids. Jamie just told me it was 19.
19.
Yeah.
19 kids.
And 2 teachers.
Yeah, 19 kids, 2 teachers. The teachers died because they were protecting kids. I think one of the students that escaped said that when the guy entered the classroom, he said, "Are you ready to die?" Like he was saying that to the kids. You know what I mean? So like, this is clearly a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you already said he posted multiple times
He posted.
online.
He posted that he was about to kill his grandma.
Right.
He posted after he shot his grandma. He posted he was going to go to a school. You know.
Wow.
And he shot her in the face.
Yeah. And I think even leading
Yeah,
up
didn't
to
she walk to the neighbors or something after that?
Something
Didn't I
like
hear
that.
That's
This is a video of them detaining the parents outside that are.
Yeah, I think this is the one I see.
They were pepper spraying people,
Yeah.
tasing people.
You got guns.
He's got a
Look.
long rifle there with a
Look.
vest.
Look, they got body armor. They're screaming at them. They're not even screaming at them to go in. They're like, let me go in.
Right.
I don't know. This just gets me.
Something ain't right. It went down off of that screen. I don't know if it.
Oh, did it? Why is it doing that? So that they just tased that person. Yeah, man.
What are
Something.
they-
There's definitely a lot of
Yeah, something ain't
weird
right.
stuff with the way that was handled. And for some reason, like when you really look into a lot of these things, there's always like these. They're like, this stuff is weird.
Right.
It doesn't seem like normal behavior.
Steve, what's up, Steve?
Right.
Steve's on here.
Hansberger?
Hansi.
Hey.
He said I saw the local police department
Yeah.
helping with the investigation.
Yep. He's 100% right. They
Yeah, I
totally.
just seen that,
They
actually.
totally said they're not going to cooperate anymore with the investigation
Why?
because.
obvious. Like, because now they're being investigated.
Mhm.
Yeah. Stephanie said, I did not sign up for the army to be a coward, and I can't believe at least one of those 19 cops believed they shouldn't be a coward either. Yeah.
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 Not one.
Yeah. But, then you hear about those Border Patrol agents. I was telling y'all about the dude who was getting his hair cut and heard about it
Yeah.
and didn't even have a weapon on
Yeah.
him. The barber had a shotgun in
Shotgun.
the shop, and he just grabbed his shotgun and ran up to the school and went in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, those are the people that you don't hear about.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's stuff that you should be prepared for
It's
at
weird,
any
dude.
time.
It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Like, I don't know.
It didn't have to be that way. It sounds like
Yeah.
it didn't have to end like that.
Dude, it could have never even got started if they would have handled it. I feel like they could have stopped him before he even got in that school.
to the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's just,
11 minutes until he got into the school.
at best, it's on himself to go, and save his family.
yeah.
I mean, I will say, like, innocent until proven guilty. Like, you don't really know what happened.
Right.
It's not looking good, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to, cast judgment.
You don't, but
You can move emotionally, and it's not the right move either. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But you can also point out that, like, sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean? And, like, when all of these things.
Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're showing like there's some stuff going on.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm just saying I don't want to like
Yeah.
you can't take it too far.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
And
then-
I won't do that. I won't get into, like, the whole false flag.
Right.
Pushing it, using kids to push. Like, that's when you start to lose people. And it's like, I'm not saying that our government is beyond that, because they have done that in the past. They've
Yes.
admitted to it. It's come out. And maybe not on that scale, but they have done certain things to manipulate the public into, going into war, for example, or,
Right.
giving up rights in certain aspects. So,
Right. I mean, like Canada.
yeah. I mean, look at what Trudeau he's using that
Using that.
Yeah.
to straight up say no more handguns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
And
putting a
rounds.
hold.
Yeah. Well, he's saying you can't, no more new handguns. You can't buy any new ones. You can't
Can't transfer
manufacture,
'em.
can't trade them, transfer them.
Yeah.
But that's just the first step to be like, now we're going to buy them back, or,
That ain't gonna stop the illegal ones, buddy.
yeah. Yeah.
And rounds or magazines to 5 rounds. They limited it. Their magazines.
Shout out to George
What up, George?
and Mom. Hey, Mom. They're saying the 18-year-old shooter worked at McDonald's and had a $70,000 truck and had money and guns.
Yeah, that was the other thing that was weird to me.
Yeah.
Like how that his AR was a $2,000 gun.
Yeah.
He supposedly he was so poor that he was being teased and bullied and being made fun of, but yet he had the money for these things: $70,000 truck, massive amounts of ammo, body armor, weapons. You know how expensive
Yeah.
that stuff is.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah.
Supposedly he just bought it too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
that
well,
stuff
how do
is-
you attain these things
Yeah.
at 18 years old, high school dropout? You know what I mean?
These are the questions that are they adding up,
Yeah. Yeah. And when you find out that he was in a Discord with the same guy from Buffalo,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You know, like they both.
Is it just a coincidence?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah, and you know, they of course they say we're investigating these things, but we know what that amounts to.
Yeah.
yeah.
We know what that amounts to.
You know what it amounted to with
Sussman.
the Trump thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Sussman, because now he got acquitted.
Yeah.
You guys heard about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that
that's
evidence?
the video I sent you.
Oh, that's what you sent?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's messed up, man.
Yeah,
But in the DC court,
right. When they find out that
jury's heavily influenced.
multiple members of that jury donated to Hillary's campaign.
Yeah. And the his daughter or something is on the soccer team.
Yep.
Of
One of the other jurors.
yeah. So they're all interconnected.
Yeah. You're not going to get, and I think like they said, literally one of the jurors' statement to, because you know they interview jurors before they pick them. One of their statements was, "I'll try to be as unbiased as possible." Like, that was their
And
statement.
I heard somebody else said that, everybody lies to the FBI. Everybody does it. So what's the big deal?
You're right. What's the big deal? Okay, you sound like a good juror for this case.
Doesn't that eliminate you?
Yeah, it
It
should.
should, but not in the
It
swamp.
should. It doesn't.
DC.
Right. And if that's the case, why it was Manafort locked up?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Only certain ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
That are not Democrat.
Yeah, that Sussman thing is crazy. I play the video since we're talking about
Didn't
it.
he admit to it in the early stages? He said that he did it.
Dude, there was so much evidence.
But he tried to act like it was. He did it out of his own.
As a private citizen.
Not as a lawyer. Like he tried to twist it.
Here's my big frustration. Western Journal breaks with breaking news. Clinton campaign lawyer Sussman found not guilty of lying to FBI. What the Hillary campaign
video
did was they
The video's not
hired
up.
Perkins Coie, a law firm. They lawyered up, and they worked with espionage cooperation from the intelligence community that was anti-populist, anti-you, and pro-mafia infrastructure on the Hill. And they leveraged the assets of the intelligence community. Comey did this, working with the New York Times, to leak stuff out so as to create a disruption in America. Knowing that the Russia collusion narrative, that the idea that Trump was doing secret banking deals with Russian sources was a lie. They pursued it anyway. The FBI and CIA dismissed it, but at the higher levels, the corrupt bosses decided they were going to keep pushing it to move Trump out of office or damage the midterms, which gave 2 impeachment operations. Yes, Carl?
One thing that I read, which I'm not sure has been proven or not, but it was that some of the communications between Alpha Bank and Trump's headquarters was literally just spam. So some people were saying that was where that connection between the two were.
Yeah, and there was a group hired to try to forge any narrative possible,
Yeah.
including fictitious
It was
narratives
just a
like
lie.
that.
Yep.
And it was given the grandiosity of a real story. Hillary broke it. Hey, Trump's been caught with his servers.
Yeah, apparently like they wanted to have an October surprise on Trump. So they like specifically hired this firm to come up with something, to dredge something up. And this is the best they could do,
Because they really had nothing.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Yeah.
But it worked.
But it flipped on her because the October surprise was really Comey coming out and
Right.
saying, we're opening up another investigation into the emails.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand what that was.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And it went nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Like everything.
Why she's not in jail.
I
To
do.
Putin in Moscow. It's the deception of the masses, which we despise. But what happened is, so Durham has been on this thing forever. We used to do jokes about Durham. Where's Durham? It's kind of like, where's Waldo? You couldn't find him. But he had to, as Rush Limbaugh said before he passed away, it takes a long time to be able to build a federal case that can stand up in court. And what they had Sussman, who was the lawyer going to the FBI
Hey, Tiff.
to drop off this inside information. And he lied and said he wasn't representing anyone. He was just a concerned citizen. He was on the payroll of the Clinton campaign to plant the story. He was working with the intelligence community to plant the story in the intelligence community.
So they now know
So it
this
goes
is true.
to Washington, D.C. All the evidence is there.
What are they going to do about these people
including,
lying?
So this gets, I want you guys to track
Under
this.
oath.
Michael
Yeah.
Sussman
They just did
had
it.
been
They
accused
just
of lying to
acquitted him.
They
James
just put him
Baker,
on
the
trial,
general
and he
counsel
was
of the
acquitted.
FBI,
Exactly.
in a 2016 meeting where he sought FBI investigation of candidate Trump and his supposed ties to Russia, ties that he knew were manufactured by them. Sussman allegedly told Baker that he wasn't representing any client. He was actually working for Clinton when he planted the story. Sussman's lawyers argued that there wasn't hard proof of the Democrats' alleged lie to Baker. His lawyers say,
There's still
where's the
people
proof
locked up for
that he
marijuana
lied to
from,
Baker? Sussman and Baker were the
Kamala.
only two individuals in the meeting.
Yeah.
They didn't take any notes. They
And
didn't record
January
it.
6th.
In testimony, Baker
trial.
said he's 100% confident Sussman lied to him about the fact that he was
Right in the
independent
middle.
and wasn't
They're having some
representing
problems
Clinton
over
or
there.
anyone else. In the meeting, Sussman tried to convince Baker the FBI should investigate these links between Trump and Alpha Bank, a Russian business owned by allies of Vladimir Putin. The FBI ultimately dismissed claims of a connection between Trump and Alpha Bank. So when they looked at it, they said, there's nothing here. It's all spam. It's fake. The jury in Sussman's trial included individuals with links to establishment Democrats. Here's what I want you to hear. You can't get a trial in Washington, D.C. without it having political control. The jury is under the influence of Democrat-dominated D.C. political powers. Reminder that the jury in Michael Sussman's case included 3 Hillary Clinton donors. Here's your objective jury pool. 3 Clinton donors and an AOC donor. And a woman whose daughter was on the same sports team with Sussman's family. So you got family ties, Hillary Clinton donors, and an AOC support. Here's your impartial jury pool. The trial pulled its jurors from the heavily Democrat Washington, D.C. area, which obviously is the problem. The case against Sussman was the first trial involving John Durham, a prosecutor appointed. Durham expressed his disagreement with the verdict, but then like a true statesman, I don't know where folks, I'd like to tell you where this is going next. He says, well, I respect the verdict, even though I know it's wrong. And so while we're disappointed in the outcome, we respect their decision. We thank you for your service. I also want to recognize and thank the investigators and prosecution team that put in years of research into exposing the roots of this whole Russian fallacy. And he's thanking them while I guess he's signing off. I don't know what he can do next. So what does this tell you? It tells you, well, I'm sorry to say, what you already know, that the system is rigged. It is rigged so that if you're on the payroll of the organized crime syndicate in Washington, they will pack the jury like they would like to pack a court so that their judges and their juries are going to, in Washington, always rule in favor of the Marxists and against the people. That's why we need a populist uprising politically to remove them from office.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Exactly what we were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This sounds like House of Cards.
Yeah.
me.
It does.
It's just corruption, man. It's corruption. And
Now, I will say that, the wheels of justice turn slow, like they say.
yeah.
But he has another case in Virginia, Durham, that is supposed to have more traction. So it's not over. But
Yeah.
And
for that guy, too.
Yeah.
and we can't lose. Like, these things are, like you said, you're seeing. The good thing is, if you're paying attention, you're seeing the obvious corruption.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, in my opinion, I mean, it's almost fact now. You know what I mean? Not really my opinion, but it's obvious what's going on and what they're doing, right? And they're showing you because that's how much they don't care. It's like when you know you just got it, like, I don't
Yeah.
even got to hide it no more. So
Right.
that's what's starting to happen now. Like, people, like, it's obvious. You see what's going on with the jury, right?
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Yeah.
But yet they don't care.
Don't care.
Because most people don't care.
I mean, it's kind of it was obvious the kind of leader Joe Biden was going to be, and people didn't care. They
Right.
still
Right.
voted for him.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I want to get into this article that came
Did they
out
vote for
today.
him?
People did.
Yeah.
Listen,
Some
I know
people
there
vote
was. I did see something today where that company that's doing the investigation that was used on 2,000 Mules.
True to vote.
Yeah, they were showing some of their evidence about how like the average amount of times people visited Dropbox in the people they investigated was 21 times in one day,
Right.
which is ridiculous. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But besides all of that, a lot of people did vote for Biden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not.
81 million.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not the most popular.
I would probably cut that number in half.
I mean, I can't say that. I can't say that. What I will say is
I
that
would
like,
shave off like 5.
because you do have to factor in the fact that the media had people in such a frenzy about
Over
just
Trump.
getting Trump out.
Yeah.
That people didn't care. It could have been a ham sandwich running for president and people would have voted. It could have been the
Yeah.
Kool-Aid man. You know what I
don't
mean?
know.
I think so, dude. I think
there was
so.
a lot of people who
There was a lot.
Who were-
There was a
who
lot,
were
but I'm
seeing
saying
the lies
there was a
going on.
lot that also are oblivious because they still exist.
They just believe-
I
they
see
believe the
them.
hype.
I
Yeah.
see them on Twitter all the
Right.
time.
You're absolutely right.
Still
about that.
defending everything that this man does. Like, dude, let me show y'all this article. This is from today. Okay, Hunter Biden's laptop coming back out with more craziness. So exclusive. This is from the Daily Mail. Hunter's search history reveals an obsession with porn, sex fantasies, including 18-year-olds, lonely widows, MILF crack cocaine porn. He uploaded his own
crack cocaine.
Yes. He was like, this is the stuff that he was watching. He uploaded his own amateur videos and texted the links to his stuff to his own dad. Like they had the text message history. They had
What?
all of his search history, his upload history,
Ew.
and he was creating his own like amateur porn with like different prostitutes and girls he would hire.
You know how you see the movies where you have like the parents that are always trying, the rich, affluent parents that are trying to run for office,
Yes.
or trying to do something in the community, and they're trying to hide their kids, and the
Yes.
kids are always fighting
Degenerates,
like,
yeah.
they're
Like
trying
yo,
to
like the
destroy
new
stuff.
like the
It's-
new Fresh Prince. I watch a couple episodes of that.
I never saw it.
Yeah, he's running for office. With Uncle Phil, he's running for
Okay.
office, and
Running for judge or something.
or attorney general or whatever
Okay.
the heck he is, and Carlton and Will gets into stuff, and they got to try to Will has a history, and they got to try to hide stuff.
Yeah,
It's the same
yeah,
idea.
same stuff. But you have those. I'm talking about you have those kids that are really they don't care and they actually want to do damage.
Yeah,
And it sounds like he's in that at least when he's oblivious and drunk and
High.
on drugs. And
Well,
stuff.
it seemed like he was living out his porn obsessions, right? Because think about it: MILF, crack cocaine porn,
Right.
and he had endless money.
lonely widow porn. Y'all know his history with his brother's wife, right?
Yeah, didn't he?
After his brother died,
Yeah.
he hooked up with his wife.
He slept.
Oh,
with
wow.
Aren't they still together?
I don't think so,
No.
but I know they were together at some point. And then like he texts that stuff to his dad, which is insane.
Well,
But then it makes you think like the way Biden is always like sniffing people and like just weird. And then
That's nasty.
the stuff from Project Veritas obtained that diary from his daughter, and there was
Yeah.
weird, creepy stuff in there.
Yep.
So it makes you wonder, like, yo, is this, like why for this dude to be this like crack cocaine obsessed and like this degenerate? What did he experience as a kid?
right.
Like, was there some dark stuff going on in that household? Like,
Well, I know they lost his mom early on.
yeah, but
But yeah, I know.
it seems a lot darker than that.
Yeah.
It
What's up, Juanita?
says of the 281 websites found in his search history over 6 days, 98% were porn.
98%.
Hunter 52, who had paid Pornhub premium account under RH East, also uploaded his own amateur videos, but was careful not to show his face. He was a regular user of sex cam sites, blah, blah, blah. Text messages show Hunter apparently sent a link to a Pornhub page to a phone number he had saved in his contacts book as dad on October 22nd, 2018. Among his search history is a visit to an article about his sister Ashley Biden's partying and arrest history, as well as repeated Google searches of himself. And then I'm not gonna show because there's it gets graphic underneath, not that graphic, but just showing him in drug induced states. But yeah, this article goes into detail. They're finding so much stuff on this laptop. No one's talking about this.
Yeah, they're not.
No one's questioning Biden on this.
I watched an interview of the dude that found the
laptop.
The shop owner.
Yeah.
Yo, they try to frame him and make him look like he was, because he was just watching it. He was saying that he don't know what to do with it because he asked Biden went there to ask for the files to get I guess there was something wrong, and he ended up seeing this. So and he's like, yo, what do I do with this? It's
so apparently
all this
his story is
incriminating stuff.
Hunter Biden dropped off the laptop. Him not knowingly. It might not even have been himself. It might have been
not to
an
him.
assistant.
Yeah.
No, it was him.
It was him directly?
Yeah, it was him.
Oh, okay. Well,
but he had it he said he had it.
Yeah, he dropped it off for repair, and then once it was
for
repaired,
a few years, right? Wasn't
he
it for
abandoned it for a couple years, and then it wasn't until they were getting ready to get rid of it or find out whose it was that they had to go through it and see, and that's when they realized it was Hunter Biden.
No, because I watched the whole interview.
Okay.
I mean,
this was the story that I heard.
No, he was basically saying you're right on that. He got the laptop. It was damaged. He had to retrieve files. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to retrieve as many videos and picture files that he could, and most
data
of them,
recovery,
right? And most of them were all this stuff they're talking about, the porn stuff and crazy stuff going on. There was some stuff that was pertaining to.
Oh my goodness!
There was stuff pertaining to the Ukraine thing he was involved with. That's what caused him to okay, now we have issues. But Hunter never he I think the only time he contacted him where he actually got back to him was he said he needed a drive, right? Mm-hmm. So he bought a 2 gig drive, and he gave him the drive so that he could put all the files on there.
But then he never came back.
But he never came back for it. So after a certain amount of time, it becomes your property. Yeah. That's the, I guess that's what they do in that world.
Yeah.
So I think it's after 90 days, it becomes your property.
You basically forfeit it.
Right. So.
But he knew it was Hunter's the whole time.
Right. And he for a while, once, he starts seeing
all the bad
Biden
stuff.
is, the stuff that came out, and Biden,
he's running for president.
He's running for president. Yeah. So now he's like, you know what? Maybe I need to contact somebody. So he tried to contact the FBI
because he was scared of having all that information.
Yeah.
According to what he said, which is legit. I got this. This is the president. This guy's about to be president, and it's all this stuff on here. Yeah. And then he tries to give it to the FBI.
But he didn't even do it. He gave it to his dad because his dad lived in Phoenix. Maybe not Phoenix, but I know it was somewhere in Arizona.
Yeah.
And so he gave it to his dad, and his dad went because his dad was in the army.
He was ex-military. Yeah,
ex-military. And they just treated his dad like trash. And
Wow.
A guy that served
The FBI.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
FBI, man.
Yo, listen to this one excerpt from the article. Screenshots from another explicit video show Hunter left a woman tied up on his bed with a red stocking over her head while he went out to get pastries. He returned and took a screenshot as he munched on a sandwich and laid a chocolate croissant out in front of the hooded and trussed woman. The videos are mainly filming using his laptop webcam, though he also filmed himself using a phone on a selfie stick and a threesome with 2 women, blah, blah, blah. So he goes out to get. He has a woman tied up with a red stocking over her head. Goes out to get pastries, and then like comes back and eats it while she's sitting there tied. Like this is like
Fetish
something
stuff.
you would see in a movie or like a weird, like you say, like House of Cards. Like it would be, you know, something where you would watch that and be like, oh, this would never happen in real life.
Yeah. Right. Shout out to Emma. So,
Crazy, dude. Crazy.
yeah, but so this stuff never. Still, like, I think aren't they just having to actually look into it now?
They're starting to look into it now.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know if they're looking into it. They had to admit that the laptop was legit.
Yeah, it was legit.
Okay.
They had to because
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean it's not Russian misinformation?
yeah,
Well,
that was
they were
the
saying,
story.
yeah.
That was what they were able to. They were only able to use that narrative when it mattered because that was the October surprise for this election. Remember? And as soon as that dropped, all of the major, like the New York Post, is the ones that ran the story first, and then they got banned from Twitter.
Yep.
And then anyone who posted a link to the story got banned from Twitter. Anyone who mentioned the story got banned, or the tweet would get taken down or deleted. You know, so they totally censored this story from Facebook, Twitter,
Crazy.
YouTube, everything.
That's where the collusion.
Yeah,
If that would have came out, definitely.
bro.
Definitely.
Let's say this: if that was Donald Trump Jr.
Oh, my goodness.
or Eric Trump, can you? We would never hear the end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't
Those
even talk, they don't even
pictures
talk
that I
about
just scrolled through
This
real
is
fast,
the,
they would be plastered up everywhere.
This is
This
the
is
kind of family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this is the PP tape that they tried to say Donald Trump did
Yes.
in Russia.
That
Yes.
they never,
You have
that,
it right
that
there.
they never,
All
they
on the
never
laptop
found.
right
Even worse.
Well, that was a part of the made up story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even worse.
Yeah, it's
This is
even
worse.
This is worse than P.
Yeah.
This is worse because apparently there's a lot of even worse stuff on the laptop that they don't want to
Yeah.
talk about. You know what I mean?
Worse than P.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it is. It is. It just sounded funny.
Worse than PP.
Peter Schweitzer did a deep dive, him and his researchers, and they found more hidden drives with more crap on it.
Wow. What was that?
Siri. She said, I
Yo.
saw this on the web.
Oh, Siri's listening to us now. Hey,
Listen,
see, we
Siri.
talking, we saying the wrong words.
Deep dive meaning.
Oh.
And history.
Yeah. Yeah, see? Y'all got them Apple Watches playing them games. Meanwhile, all that's going on, and this is what our president's up to. This is what our president's up to. Because this is the pressing matters
This is my-
at hand right here.
My favorite R&B group.
He's at the White House meeting with BTS doing this. I guess this is what their fans do. It's the finger hearts or something.
What is it?
Finger hearts? I don't know.
All right. They all look the same.
Doesn't it look like they're all saying, "Yeah, we got that money"? Doesn't
Yeah,
it look like
yeah.
that's what they're saying?
Whatever it is, it's dumb.
Look at all that plastic surgery, boy.
I'm surprised that he didn't think these were young women and start sniffing all of them.
They got suits on.
Hey, that don't matter.
That
That
don't,
don't,
matter nowadays.
that don't mean nothing nowadays.
What does BTS what does BTS stand for?
I don't know. I never looked that up. Yo, but dude, sometimes they're like Twitter. Their fans are crazy, like beyond anything you've ever seen. I guarantee you, like because I'll be on a story about something that has nothing to do with them, and in the comments will be links. Like their fans will just be in there posting links to BTS all the time. It doesn't matter what it is. There's always comments about BTS.
Wow.
What is the
They got a lot of bots going for them.
What's
Probably.
the draw?
Knowing how
think
much
so?
Twitter
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Botting
true.
it out.
Right. Didn't that come out? No. Hold on. Yeah, it did come out that they're no, not yet.
It came out that half of Biden's followers
yeah,
are
that
fake.
came out. I thought something else after that came out about the whole Musk thing.
I'm trying to Google BTS stands for.
you really looking that up?
Yeah. See what it says. What BTS? What does BTS
It just gives you a bunch of stuff. Burn the stage.
The Bangtan Boys.
Bang.
Beyond the Scene.
Okay.
South Korean hip hop boy group. Yeah. Bangtan Boys.
Okay.
Whatever that means. Bangtan Boys.
Bangtan Boys.
But the S.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
BTS.
T.
I can't make sense of it.
All right, that means.
All right. I didn't care that
Sink
much.
that story.
But anyway, yeah, he had them at the White House to talk about stopping Asian hate. That's why they were there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
Yep.
they know all about that.
Yeah. Being from South Korea.
Yeah, being from South Korea.
Yeah.
Being rich.
Yeah.
Not in the inner city.
Yeah.
Where, a lot
Yeah.
of the...
You would think that you would have some Asian Americans who live in a community where they're
Where they're actually going through that. Yeah.
You would think you would have them on.
Yeah,
No,
it's
you.
not.
But that's not the tactic of politicians, especially these modern ones. It's just find the most famous Asian we can find.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous Asian? Well,
Asians that are not even from America.
Yeah. Because do you think Biden knows who BTS is?
All right, guys.
It's like his Cardi B stunt.
I remember there was a clip from them talking to him, and he said something about it's not even about your talent; it's about your message. That's what people love. And I'm just thinking about you
he
don't
just
know,
insult-
you don't know what their songs are about. It's like, girl, you're so hot. You know what I mean? What's that one song they got?
Butter.
No.
Butter's
Butter.
in-
Yeah,
I hear that
yeah,
in the gym
yeah,
all the time.
Butter. Yeah, that's their song.
how's it?
Butter.
Hot like butter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Really
them?
like that no butter.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
Like
song.
butter. It's about your message, guys. It's really resonating with the public.
Yeah,
Hot like butter.
I like butter. I like real butter.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what Biden's been up to. Also, he had this funny moment that kind of went a little viral, where he did his Biden thing. Let me bring this up real quick.
Remember, I'm your commander-in-chief. So don't
Yeah, that was
He's
the
creeper.
naval
The creeper
graduation, I
whisperer.
think.
remember, I'm your commander-in-chief.
He loves it though.
Yep.
Like his whole goal was just to get into that position. He's been trying since the 80s.
Even though he's not doing anything.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He got it.
Yep, he got the
won.
title.
He won. Remember, I'm your commander-in-chief.
Some weird stuff.
No
It's
joke.
weird, yo. It's weird. It's weird.
Not a joke. That's what he said.
Not a
a joke. Not a joke. Yeah. Let me see. I think I had something else. I had something else for Biden.
Why they gotta look?
This is Biden talking
Fake.
about.
Like mannequin.
This is Biden talking about. What is he talking about? Why it's Greg Abbott's fault about inflation. I think. No, about the baby formula shortage. This is what
He's
him
always
talking
blaming
about.
everybody. It's
Yeah.
not Putin anymore.
No, that's Putin's fault is for
Oh,
the
that was
gas
gas.
prices.
That was gas,
And,
right.
and inflation, the Putin price hike.
Right,
You know, that,
right.
did you see the press secretary say that when they just asked her about that? They were like, gas prices in certain states are higher than the minimum wage. Like, how are people expected to get to work? And she was like, well, we know this is because of the Putin gas hike. Like, that's just the talking point they will just continue to say.
The shortage of baby formula is due to the closure back in February of one of Abbott's infant formula plants. We need to take immediate action to stop immediate action to stop contaminated formula from hitting store shelves and putting American children at risk.
Yeah.
Action to stop contaminated formula from hitting store shelves. Action to stop we needed to take immediate action to stop contaminated formula.
Yeah,
From
contaminated
hitting store
formula,
shelves and
guys.
putting American children at risk. The last thing we should ever do is allow unsafe formula to be sold to parents. Instead, we should increase the production of safe formula to make every American family so they can
What's
get
he
what
doing?
they need
What's he
for their
doing?
child.
Dude.
That's the approach we've taken. The Food and Drug Administration acted quickly to bring Abbott back into compliance with safety standards, but it takes time. Abbott accounts for about 40% of the overall infant formula market in the United
So get a federal organization to shut down somebody that manufactures something that we all need, and
Yeah.
then say it's their fault, and then say it's going to take time to bring it back up to the standard that we need.
Yeah.
So it's not my fault.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
their fault.
And it wasn't even contaminated.
Yeah.
They retested it. It
It wasn't contaminated.
But the FDA didn't show up to recertify them.
Right. So they
Right.
can shut it down at first and then retest it and then say it's going to take time for us to really open this back up.
So James is the only one really to have babies. I was at Jean's for the barbecue. There was a bunch of them that had babies. It's a real thing. Like it didn't affect me. I didn't really know
Yeah.
how serious
Yeah,
this
no,
baby
it was-
formula thing was
yeah,
until he was like, it was hard for me to find formula. I was like, wow.
They should have went to the border. He'd have found plenty.
Or do it the old-fashioned way.
because they're giving it to them.
Or you can get it the
That's a
old-fashioned
shame.
way.
Yeah. Breast
Women
milk.
women make it themselves.
Yeah, that's what James he don't got to worry about that because they doing the breast milk.
Exactly. I mean, I understand some women can't produce. I
Yeah.
understand that.
You knew it was one.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't.
But most of them didn't. Like,
Yeah.
The woman I was.
And have y'all been seeing now? And I know, it's like a lot of people will say, "Oh, conspiracy theories," but again, that's another plant you're talking about being shut down by a federal agency, right? Then, have y'all been hearing about all of these fires
Yes.
at these distribution plants around the country? How is what are the odds? Where they're talking about major food shortages, inflation, all these things that we're getting ready to face, and all of these food plants, food distribution points are just
Catching
randomly
fire.
catching fire, exploding, lightning strikes, all these things. That's messing up the supply chain
You
even
can
more.
always rely on COVID too. A COVID shot.
Yeah, right,
Somebody
right.
is-
Yeah.
Right.
Or monkeypox.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think they're trying to get the country to a desperate state,
The Great Reset, man.
get the people to a desperate state. When you don't have resources, people start doing things that they normally wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Like sell your kids,
Into slavery.
yeah,
Yeah. Or sex work.
or to other people.
Yeah.
No.
Or stop having kids.
Yeah, a lot of
there
things
was-
you don't think about.
That was that clip that you showed me about was it at the Davos meeting where was it Klaus Schwab or somebody affiliated with him was talking about how they would need to reduce the population by 50%, and they're talking about how they're taking all these measures to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Telling people that they won't have food, won't have baby formula. It's gonna stop people from having kids.
Right.
yeah.
Create the problem, then pretend to have the solution.
Yeah.
Well,
have y'all seen
have
the
the solution,
Have y'all
so-
seen the charts about birth rates
No, I have not.
and how they're
they
lower?
dropped,
They've been below been below replacement status for decades now. First time ever in history. Because in order to replace yourself, you're supposed to have 2.5 kids. And most
How do
families,
you have 2.5?
well, I'm saying, as averaged
I know
out
how numbers work.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah. But
that was always weird to be.
I know. But so most families now are having one, maybe two, or none. So we've been at a below replacement level for a couple decades now. Elon
Jake's
Musk,
happening for everybody.
I know Jake's got us covered. But Elon Musk has been talking about this, about how we're actually at a deficit with population growth.
Yeah.
Does he
Saying-
have kids?
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
He has multiple kids. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, he was talking about this for a while, and it's now you hear about this battle between him and Bill Gates. Now Bill Gates.
Yes.
No.
You haven't heard about this?
Nah.
Him
Yes.
and Bill Gates are the two billionaires battling with ideology because Bill Gates believes we need to lower the population. Elon Musk
Eugenics.
believes we need to raise the population. Bill Gates, apparently something came out where Bill Gates told him he was going to remove his shares of Tesla stock or something like. Oh no, he was going to short Tesla stock if he didn't meet with him about donating or something like that. And then Elon Musk tweeted out those text messages and was like, how can y'all believe it? Someone really cares about climate change if they're willing to short Tesla stock? Like, so they've been in this little fight lately.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it doesn't add up to their ideology because he's their best friend. He's an electric guy.
Yeah. Exactly. You would think
Like,
that
it don't matter.
they would all love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because that's not the agenda. That's
He's really
just-
not.
That's just the ploy.
AOC is
That's what
is
you
getting
gotta
rid
see.
of her Tesla, right, or something like that.
Yep.
Oh no.
And it's funny because it's like you're taking all these policy steps that are making gas prices go up and inflation go up because in the name of climate change, but yet you hate Elon Musk at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to be rethinking who we're letting become our leaders.
Yeah.
Wake up,
Mom
wake
said
up.
BTS stands for Biden's Toy Soldiers. That was funny, Mom.
That's
a
pretty
good one.
funny.
Stephanie said, sorry, I'm a little behind. Heard you, but was busy, so I couldn't answer. Years ago, the Dixie Chicks ruined their career with Natalie Maines, stated during the MCA's Country Music Awards that she was ashamed to be from Texas, the same as Bush Jr. ruined
I remember that.
10 seconds. Yeah.
You know what's funny is like people love Bush now.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden,
Why is that?
Now all of a sudden he's not the most horrible human being on the planet.
Because he's the same side of the coin.
Yeah.
It's funny because Lance Wallnau, he was talking about he brought this something up that was kind of interesting. I didn't get the video, but he was talking about the Harlem Globetrotters, right, and how they would play the Washington Generals, right?
Yep, I remember that.
And he was saying like
Two fake teams.
but the Harlem Globetrotters would always win, right? And it was like it's this fake game, and everybody wants the Harlem Globetrotters to win, right? But they're just playing a game that's not real. But what happens if somebody went into the game and man, I'm tired of this,
Yeah.
like, you know? But what's happening is like you have a Democrat, Republican, but most of these Republicans, they're not really Republicans.
Yeah, I mean it's really a uniparty when you really get down
Right.
to it.
And that's what he was saying. Like when you get down to it, like they're spewing these things as like a show and that they're fighting against people. But that's why you see like nothing ever changes. And you're like, why would they do that? Mitch McConnell, like they talk all this stuff. Mitch McConnell, what's not Larry. What the heck is
Larry
it?
Lindsey Graham.
Lindsey Graham. There you go.
Yeah.
Larry Graham.
I say the same thing every time.
Dude, Lindsey Graham. Yeah, Lindsey Graham. Like, it's like they say one thing, but then they do another thing.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's a good analogy, man. That's a good
yeah,
way of looking at it.
It's the show, yeah.
it's a show. It's all a show, and
Yeah.
they're just getting people. Like they're out there to make people feel like they're doing something, but then it's like nothing ever happens. And then they will just give you a whole bunch of excuses. And that's not the way our system was ever meant to be.
Nope.
That's why we have to like hold these people responsible. Like
Yeah.
these people were supposed to be their representatives
Yeah.
of communities.
But we have to start voting them out of power
But that's the point. That's what I'm trying to say.
because
Pay attention.
like I've been hearing a lot of them that like get in and then get out and then quit because they realize how corrupt it is, and they're talking about the fact that like even when you come in as a young politician, you have these ideas like I really want to make change, but then when you come against the higher ups, the speakers of the House, the ones that are leading the Senate majority leaders or minority leaders, they'll come to the new ones and be like, I know this is like, I know we're about this, but I need you to vote no against it because we need it as a wedge issue. Because it's like they need these issues to keep fighting on because that's how they keep getting reelected. They don't ever really want to fix it. You know what I mean? So they'll pretend, they'll get out there and grandstand and say all these things in front of the press, you know, and blame the Democrats or the Republicans for blocking them. But really, there's always that one Democrat or Republican that goes against the party, and a lot of times they're told to do that to keep it as a wedge issue.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And at the core of that issue, it's straight selfishness. Yeah. And selfishness literally shows that you're still a child and you have no business trying to be a grown up, right? Really, like you're not really grown up. In that you really could have the responsibility to do something for other people. Because that's really what it's about. A representative is like you're being responsible for a whole bunch of people. You're speaking for them, right? You're communicating how they want to be looked at, right? Or how they want to be addressed as this section in the state, right? And you don't get that because you get people, like you said, grandstanding, because they just want power. And that's what it's been. It's about these power grabs and about this clout and that's what and you can't just look at politicians and think, oh, it's just corrupt. No, America has become corrupt because the number one thing has become about money and power. Right? Like people judge you off of what you got. And people will treat you if you got the things that they need or they want, they treat you in a different way, right? The majority of people, they look at you differently. They're judging you, they're comparing their life, right? That's how, and it's all BS. It's all BS. We're living in this place of judgment. That's why I believe like there's no other way but through Jesus, because he's a true leader, right? He laid down his life for people. And when there's a foundation of love, you're learning that it's not about me, right? Let me see what I can do for other people, right? Because at first it's about you because you're selfish, right? You're a kid. Oh, but they did this to me. Oh, but that. So you're always comparing. You're always judging. It's not fair, right? I was talking about this with Jamie, like at the tournament. Like you have refs at these tournaments that they're pretty bad, and also they've went through some things because you got parents that are pretty bad, right? As parents, they're so caught up in their kids, wanting their kids see their kids win, that they're going off for any little thing.
Yeah, parents get crazy.
Yeah, you saw this, right? Going off for any little thing.
I was surprised.
What'd you say?
I was surprised to see that. Like,
it's on another level now, and then you have these refs that they are making some bad calls, but you got to sometimes there's a reason even behind that. So then the kids are like, now the kids are getting into it because the parents, they're getting mad, right? So then the kids think they have the right to get into it and be mad at these people, right? But everybody's just kids. The parents act like kids, and the kids are acting like they don't. How are they going to learn how to grow up? So what we're doing is, okay, don't worry about what happened. Yeah, that was an unfair call. But if you focus on that, that's going to blind you to the point. The point, it's not even to win. It's about to come together as a team. And we want to win, right? We want to win, but it's about growing as a team, right? And moving forward together. And you can't do that when you're focused on, oh, they did this over here. The other team is pushing, right? They're doing stuff to us.
They're cheating.
It's not fair, right? And that's what we, like, you hear these kids saying this stuff, but the parents are worse.
Yeah.
The parents are worse. It's not fair. Like, my wife, I got sick, so I was supposed to go on this trip, right? She ended up having to go for me, for my daughter. And she was telling me the other parent on the trip was dealing with the kids in a very crazy manner where she's looking at how they're acting towards her son, which, by the way, her son was the problem child in the group, but she doesn't see it that way. She sees it like it's everybody else's fault.
Right.
So she's like overly snapping on every kid to the point where my wife's like, all right, I got to step in, because she's like borderline abusing these kids and the teachers ain't saying nothing about it.
Wow.
So,
And she usually doesn't say anything.
right. So these, like, because she's still a kid in terms of how she deals with things, right? She's relating everything to herself because it's her son. Like, so now it's all back to how you're relating to me, right? That's selfish. And you're just seeing this breakdown. I'm going on a tangent, but what I'm saying is you're seeing this breakdown in America.
Right.
And you're seeing it play out in every area of our lives. And the way it stops is that people have to say, I'm not going to engage in that. You know, I'm not going to play that game. Yeah, that's not fair, but that's not the focus.
Right.
Because if I get focused, my emotions go there, and now I feel justified in coming against you and yelling at you. It's like you go, right? You get your pizza, you order pepperoni, it don't have pepperoni on it.
Right.
Now you're snapping because you
Right.
that
Right.
pepperoni that you
I paid for this.
You paid for, right? But where's the grace? You know what I mean? Where's the not to
Somebody
say you
might
shouldn't
have
get your,
made a mistake.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
that's the approach I always go in.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
if you start meeting me with a lot of
Hit the camera a little bit.
a lot of you know,
With a bunch of
attitude.
mistakes.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying like attitude or acting like you know you don't need to correct your mistake. Then it's like,
Yeah.
all right, now we gotta amp it up a little bit. But,
Right.
You know.
Right. But
Yeah, I usually don't complain, but like the funny story, Domino's. I'm not gonna say the town. It's terrible. There's always an issue. You know, I usually don't complain.
We know the town.
we know.
But it was so bad one time I had to call him like, yo, y'all didn't do this. You guys got to fix it. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they ended up, they say, oh, we'll fix it. And the guy just hangs up on me. And then the dude just drops. They don't even knock
ring
the
the
door.
doorbell or
Don't even
nothing.
ring the door. They just put it on my doorstep. I have a Ring camera.
Yeah.
Just put it on my doorstep and just walks away.
Yeah.
Like, man, Noah, that's his favorite pizza place.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to order there ever again.
Yeah. And you got to explain to him why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to break that down. Like now we can't order from them. You see how they don't
Yeah.
appreciate our business,
Yeah.
you know?
Because if you continue, well, then that's your fault.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to hold a standard, you don't got to get mad.
Right.
You just don't have to deal with those type of people.
Yep.
Right? But people, like, you're seeing people snapping in McDonald's, like throwing stuff over the counters, wanting to fight, going
Yeah.
crazy because
Popeyes.
they ain't get a
Remember
straw.
with the Popeyes chicken sandwiches?
Yeah.
People was
Yeah.
fighting because
Right.
they ran out of chicken.
Right.
I just saw a story of some girl who stabbed someone in the McDonald's because, like, something about they didn't give her the right order or her fries were cold or something. Like, ended up stabbing somebody.
Wow.
Over some
Not that
fries.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
But
I
that's
think,
why we can, like, you see what these things that if we're allowing ourselves to get involved in these stupid things, then we're gonna miss the bigger picture.
Yeah.
We're gonna miss like the people who don't care about you that you put into power
Yep.
because you thought it was a good idea.
or the people that feed off of, they know that you're emotional or narcissistic in those ways, so they will feed off of that to get you to vote them into power. They will play on those emotions
Yeah.
Right.
and use that against you. And I want to show y'all an example. Did y'all see this ad from the guy running against Rand Paul, Charles Booker?
No.
Oh, let's get some reaction to this. All right. Okay. Hold on. Let me bring it up.
Wow.
Wow.
Persists to this day. In Kentucky,
I was
like
gonna
many
say.
states throughout the South, lynching was a tool of terror. It was used to kill hopes, for freedom. It was used to kill my ancestors. Now, in a historic victory for our Commonwealth, I have become the first Black Kentuckian to receive the Democratic
Wasn't he
nomination
part of the Black
for
Lives
U.S.
Matter?
Senate.
I
My
don't remember
opponent, the very person who compared expanded health care to slavery. The person who said he would have opposed the Civil Rights Act. The person who single-handedly blocked an anti-lynching act from being
Can't see it,
federal
Jamie.
law.
Oh,
The choice couldn't be clearer.
fact.
My opponent, the very person who compared expanded health care to slavery. The person who said he would have opposed
Playing on
the Civil
emotions.
Rights Act.
Because if you really
The
look at
person
what
who
he
single-handedly
opposed
blocked
about these
an
things,
anti-lynching act from
is
being
not
federal
true.
law.
What he's saying.
The choice couldn't be clearer. Do we move forward together? Or do we let politicians like Rand Paul forever hold us back and drive us apart? In November, we will choose healing. We will choose
The ominous music.
Kentucky.
Dude, you
I hope you ain't that
you
weak.
calling them a racist? Like this?
I hope those voters aren't that weak
Yeah.
minded to fall for that.
And what's funny
You know,
is,
some of them are.
you know, Rand Paul's the one that proposed the Breonna Taylor bill about
Yeah.
the no-knock warrants.
Right.
Yeah.
He's and with the anti-lynching bill, he was the one that voted against it because he said it didn't go far enough, like it was too vague.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he was saying that we need real reform with the police no-knock warrants and this thing is bugging. And with like the anti-lynching bill, but again, they bring a black person in there,
Yeah.
put a noose around his neck. And then
he stood up against the whole COVID thing, and he's fighting Fauci. He's
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
of the
He was
ones
the
that stood
only
up to
one.
Fauci.
Yeah.
questioning Fauci like that.
Dr. Rand Paul.
So what are they going to do?
Try to get him out.
Make him a racist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play on that same old string
Yep.
that they can pull.
Yeah. It's sad, man.
Don't fall for it,
Don't
guys.
fall for it. Don't
And they have
fall
a black attorney general out there. I just seen today. He's on ESG.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shutting it down.
Let's see what else we got.
Speaking of running, Ian Smith,
Mm-hmm.
he's running for Congress.
Yeah. He's been.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just started seeing signs.
Nah, yeah, that's why.
I'm like,
that's
oh,
why I
snap.
said that. He called out Dan Crenshaw.
Oh, okay.
'Cause, Crenshaw is another hack
Yeah, that dude is.
in Texas.
Yeah.
All right. So along the lines of what you were saying, like when you cultivate a very selfish, very narcissistic ideology in our culture, it just starts to be unquenchable, right? So we always show a lot of videos from like Libs of TikTok where we learn about what pronouns and genders are. I got a new one for y'all, and this might be one of the worst ones.
Okay, we're gonna make a real quick video about emoji self-pronouns. First of all, for those of you who don't know, I use tooth emoji self-pronouns. Now we're gonna talk about why I don't say those verbally, because first of all, that was really weird to say. Ugh. Emoji self-pronouns are a type of neopronoun, or as some people call them, xenopronouns, that I've thank you, by the way, for those who decided to educate me on that. I did some more research on it, and you are correct. Xenopronouns are a thing. A lot of people still refer to noun self and emoji self pronouns as neopronouns, though, and since that's more commonly known, I will continue to use that term. Anyways, emoji self pronouns are text-only pronouns, so you only use them when texting or typing, usually on the internet. I think some people have referred to them as internet-only pronouns. I believe I've done that as well. So the reason people may use these pronouns is because they connect to those emojis. For example, I use the tooth one because my gender is inherently related to teeth. Example of why I have teeth as one of my names. Also why I collect teeth and just enjoy having like sharp teeth included in my makeup, a lot of stuff like that. People may find their gender related to emojis in other ways just because of how the emoji looks visually. Like I had someone whose gender was related to this emoji. And it was super cool, because honestly, that emoji is very pretty and very gender. I just personally wouldn't use it as a pronoun, but there are some people who do. How to use those pronouns in a sentence. We're going to put a sample sentence right up here. Okay, we're going to make...
So
It's just weird.
I hate
dude.
to laugh,
Just
man.
So weird.
But you know what?
This is
It reminds me of like role playing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. It reminds me of like Star Wars role
Yeah.
playing, like
Or like Star Trek, like knowing
Yeah.
the what's the language that they all try to speak or learn?
Klingon.
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 Like it's like you just want to be a part of that club.
Right, but it doesn't.
It never ends.
There's not. It never ends because
Yeah.
it's made up.
Yeah, right.
But it's you're making up a realm.
Right.
Like
Right.
I don't want to get too like spiritual, but
I know what you're saying.
you can lock yourself in
engulf
realms
yourself in
of
that.
ways of thinking, and,
Dude.
and that's what you're seeing happening because now it's becoming nonsensical.
But it's not as nonsensical as we think because we do it in so many other ways that we rationalize as okay. Like your example of Star Trek, Star Wars, stuff like that.
Sports.
Think about that was the other one I was
Sports.
going to mention.
That's
like,
the okay one. That's the
right.
You know.
Or Star Wars. Like how many people will debate about a storyline and why this doesn't make sense because
Yeah.
this person was born here and they wouldn't do that this way. And no, the clones don't operate like this. Like this is all fake and made up.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's my point. That it's nonsensical. So like I'm hearing her talk and I'm like, I literally started thinking about Klingons.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah.
because it's you're speaking another language
Right.
that isn't real.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're trying to
Someone else taught you about it, so now you're teaching others because
Right.
you heard Tooth say that Tooth learned these languages from
Oh, hold up.
Xeno.
It's just text emojis.
Oh, you can't say it
You
right,
can't. Mm.
So how you don't say it
Yeah.
verbally. So
wow, it's crazy. And you really you can get you pull yourself. What you're doing is you're judging yourself, right? And it's all about selfishness. You're judging yourself and you're judging others based off of where you have placed yourself.
right,
Right? In what realm you feel good about living in.
You feel
And
comfortable, yeah.
And it's just like going on all these different VR things or
Yeah.
or maybe Meta or
Hi.
sorry.
or Roblox, all this
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's all role playing,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
So you're going into these realms and you're setting yourself in a place.
but this is the difference: is that you're trying to bring that realm into
The real
reality,
world. Yeah.
and you're trying to merge the two.
Yeah.
right.
And
that's
try-
where
make everyone else fall in line with what you're trying to merge.
right, because you're obsessed with it.
Right.
And that's the key. She's obsessive compulsive, and people are missing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of these people have issues.
Narcissism, extreme
narcissism.
narcissism. Yeah.
Again, obsessive compulsive. Like you're dealing with mental stuff a lot of times in these things, but you can explain it away because when you have no parameters,
Right.
you can just lie.
And when we're told, when you're already affirmed constantly that no, people have to acknowledge whatever pronoun you decide.
Yeah.
I have another example for y'all right here around the same lines, but just as ridiculous.
Hi, I'm King, and this is B, the ex-host of our system, or rather, this was B. B has made the decision to change Paint's name and pronouns. Pay is now going by Pastel and using Pay, Paint, Paints, Paint self pronouns. We do recognize that it is very difficult for a lot of people to use neo-pronouns in general, and especially themed neo-pronouns. But don't worry, we are also struggling. However, we are making an effort to make Paint comfortable, and we would really appreciate it if you do as well. Please do not be mean about this in the comments. Pay is an anxiety holder, and it would not be appreciated. Hi, I'm King, and this is B, the ex-host of our system, or rather, this was B. B has made the decision to change Paint's name and pronouns. Pay is now going by Pastel and using Pay, Paint, Paints, Paint self pronouns. We do recognize that it is very difficult
Paint
for a lot
pronouns,
of people
bro.
to use
Why are you
neo-pronouns
confused?
in general, and especially
Pay,
themed
paint, paint
neo-pronouns.
self.
But don't worry,
Pastel.
we are also struggling. However, we are making an effort to make paint comfortable, and we would really appreciate it if you do as well.
Are they one?
Please do not be mean about this in the comments. Pay is an anxiety holder, and it would not be appreciated.
No, that's someone
Hi, I'm
else.
Kay.
That's someone else that they're teaching you about that uses paint pronouns.
She's a ventriloquist.
No.
Oh, that's not.
This is the avatar of someone, I guess, in their community. They just changed their pronouns to paint pronouns. So
that's not a real person.
No, it is a real person. But she or this or they are explaining to everyone about the pronoun change.
Both of them changed it to paint.
No, this person in the picture, the avatar, changed it to paint.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, what is she, him? Oh no,
King, I think she said.
King.
Yeah.
King.
That's so freaking. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
And that's the point.
That's the point. Yeah.
You're not up on this.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay-Z.
Shut the F up.
Jay-Z.
You ain't up on this.
Nigga, you ain't up. Oh, no, not Jay-Z. I'm sorry. Kanye.
Was that Kanye? Oh, yeah,
Kanye.
yeah. Just to be like, you ain't up on this. Yeah. What'd he say? I done spent $400 on this just to be like, you ain't up on this. Like,
Yeah.
that's the culture, right?
Yeah.
That's the culture. Like, I spent all this time learning about these weird things just to be like, you ain't up on this. Now, look at this. Nothing to see here. Just a child dancing for adults with drag queens on stage for money at a drag convention. Let's take a look at this. You guys can enjoy the insanity.
I'm glad it went down.
Oh. Giving the child money to dance. Yeah.
Sick.
Totally fine. Totally fine.
Did you see Babylon B had a whole thread of those type of things?
Of like the drag story
The drag
hours.
stuff.
Yeah,
all
I
the
saw
drag
that.
story hours that is going on all across the country.
Yeah.
And some of them got canceled after
Yeah.
parents
They found out that,
and
and
people
some
found
of
out.
them they investigated and found out a lot of these people were sex offenders.
Yeah, yep.
You know,
Yep.
not it's not offensive if it's true. You know what I mean? Yeah, but listen, this is where we're headed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is where we're headed when you make everything okay.
This is where we're headed if you don't take responsibility.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is the issue.
Mom said this is painful.
That's 60 years of no God in your life.
Yeah.
Or disconnecting from God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking about God, you posted
This right here.
yeah.
Oh,
He sent us this extremely low percentage of Americans hold biblical worldviews, an interview with George Barna. So this article goes into First National Survey of the Worldview of Americans conducted by the Cultural Research Center at Arizona Christian University shows that although 7 out of 10 consider themselves to be Christian, only 6% actually possess a biblical worldview. So,
How is that even possible?
I mean, because to be Christian just starts to become heritage or tradition at that point. It's just like there's a lot of non-practicing Jews. There's a lot of, people that grew up Muslim, but they don't really, practice, It's
Yeah,
but aren't they becoming pastors or whatever?
Well, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
That was something different.
Well, it's the same thing, but
yeah,
I'm saying it's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an even lower percentage of those leaders that held that type of view.
So you're a leader in the Christian church, but don't hold biblical views.
You don't.
Oh, like
Yeah.
Pelosi and
Yeah.
her
Oh, did we talk about
Catholicism.
that?
We did.
No, I mean,
Pelosi's husband being arrested for DUI.
that-
Yeah,
but-
I don't think we did.
yeah.
Pelosi's husband was just arrested for DUI. Was that yesterday?
2 days ago, maybe
2
3.
days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's how old is he? He's like 82, driving a Porsche or something like that. Drunk.
Yeah, man. You know,
bruh.
Got all that stock money. You can afford a Porsche.
Yeah. Recent stocks.
Yeah.
You know, all the oil stocks.
Beating them.
Yeah.
But I was going to say the archbishop that disciplined her was skipped over. Pope Francis, right?
Yeah.
Promoted another cardinal to whatever's over archbishop, whatever the promotion is, out of San Diego. It's a cardinal out of San Diego. He promoted him instead of the archbishop that actually corrected
Pelosi.
Oh. Somebody got paid?
Yeah.
Sounds about right. That'll teach you.
Powerful strings are pulling.
That'll teach you.
That's not your job, buddy.
Yeah.
As Whoopi would say.
It wasn't your job to correct her.
That'll teach you to
Even though
follow
you're her
Jesus'
pastor,
principles, biblical principles.
Call the Pope.
Yeah.
Tell him to promote somebody else.
Yeah.
And send a message to him not to correct anybody.
Were you here when we were talking about that? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how can you be like a believer in Jesus, but that, you know?
I actually just saw a whole interview of a Christian atheist. I think it might have been on Ruslan's channel. Did you see that?
A Christian atheist?
Yeah, it was a dude. He was talking.
Do explain.
He was talking. I forget who was interviewing him, but he was talking about how he can be a Christian. Actually, it was Steven Crowder was interviewing him, and Ruslan was talking about it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up. Y'all discuss that topic.
A Christian
bit,
atheist, isn't that what do you call that? Oxymoron.
Hey, what are you? What's her name? Sunny Holston from The View.
But isn't that why, how much do we hate to be called Christian?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it becomes something else.
Yeah.
People don't even understand what you are. So it takes on a different meaning. You know.
Bruce.
And that's what happens. People don't represent things in the right way, so it takes on a different meaning. Because you're trying to represent something you don't know how to represent.
Right.
Instead of, that's even you taking on a responsibility you don't need to take on.
Yeah, but Christian and an atheist. Christian, you believe in.
You look at guys like
Jesus.
Elon Musk,
atheist,
and Jeff Bezos.
Means you don't believe in anything.
But
a Christian,
how does that?
When you change the definition,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean Neil deGrasse Tyson made a point about this, and I think
my favorite guy ever.
But he actually had a good point about this, and he said it on Rogan, which Ruslan actually brings up in this video, where he talked about he was like, I don't understand the idea of being an atheist. Like, why are you advocating for something you don't believe in? Like, or why are you arguing against something you don't believe in? He was like, if someone doesn't like to play golf, they're not out there screaming at people about playing golf. You just don't play golf. You know what I mean? He's like, so why would I be out there like preaching to people about there's no God? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense. Like being an atheist doesn't really make logical sense.
Right. Because the whole and I think there are atheists that don't care. You know? So but people who are like want to tell you
they want to be
no
in
God.
the atheist club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's definitely, obviously, there's more to it. You really just don't like Christians.
Yeah.
Like ACLU. Like they're going after Christians.
Right.
Like, and that's so there's something more sinister to it.
Well, let's
That's like people that they just want to prove people wrong.
Right.
Let's check this out. I forget.
atheists?
I forget who
Sounds
this
like
dude
a contradiction, doesn't it? Well, not according to Douglas Murray. Now, usually you don't open up YouTube and search for Steven Crowder videos. Mainly because I'm just not a fan of his failed attempts at comedy while talking about very polarizing, sensitive issues.
5.2 billion are being out.
All right, let's get
I think maybe a better definition, but he's a Christian because he would.
Yeah. Right. So that's one thing I know. And look, I'm not trying to start this in a contentious way, but I know some people will take.
Crowder, you aren't trying to be contentious, bud?
I actually watched
Really?
this.
You?
Seems
Be
to
as
me
contentious as you like, honestly.
Well,
I can take it.
Well, I
appreciate that.
I know. But I do. Reputationally. No, I see it as someone who's not necessarily a Christian, believing it in the literal sense, the way that all Christians do, but a Christian sympathizer, like you're talking about, how it acts as the foundation for Western civilization, the Judeo-Christian values, as opposed to the edgy atheists who would just say, well, if I need a God to tell me not to murder or steal, then...
I mean, I've known...
I like how Crowder made sense of that.
I
for
remember
him
watching
better
this
than he
now.
made sense
Now it
of
makes like
Crowder's like, look, you're not a.
Because I watched it. I watched it live, right?
Okay.
I watched it live, so there was like no title or anything like that.
Yeah.
The guy was talking about how he loves the the morals of Christianity, and he grew up in that, and he respects that.
It's just like
But
we were
he-
saying, like people can be traditionally Christian,
Right.
but not believe in the Bible or
Right.
like in Moses or Jesus
Right.
Christ.
But when you
rose
say
from the
Christian
dead.
atheist, I was like,
Yeah.
what? That don't make any sense.
Because there
But-
are people that do recognize, and I think what Douglas Murray gets into here is that he recognized that like a lot of the morality that exists in the world, you can't actually say you believe in morality without a basis. Like there's no basis
Right.
for it without like biblical values. You know what I mean? And I think
'Cause we'd
if
be
you ever
all
you ever watch
like-
Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris debate this?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen
Mm-hmm.
that? Because there's like Sam Harris just believes that like human beings could just naturally become moral on their own.
Right.
Yeah. And Jordan Peterson kind of like contests him with that because there's how can you say that?
Yeah.
You know.
Human nature is beastly.
Yeah. I mean, they always say like people in power are always lean on the side of tyranny. Mm-hmm. That's why we had this country set up the way it is to prevent that. You know what I mean? And you look at it even like in the last couple of years, any little bit of power they get, they just want to hold on to it.
Yeah.
It's just like human nature.
Yeah.
But let's continue going on.
a Christian, but you're sympathetic towards Christianity because it's influenced some of our Western ideals.
The edgy atheist, as you call them. And I mean, I just think it's absurd not to concede the fact that much of what we have in America, like Britain, Canada, is derived from Christian ethics.
Right.
Much of what we have in America is derived from Christian ethics. I think that is a
You ever notice how like when Ruslan does reaction videos, he will literally pause it and repeat what someone just said. Like he doesn't even give a commentary. He just will literally repeat what they just said. They're like, dude, yeah, we heard him say that. Like, get on with
I
it.
like Ruslan.
fair statement.
Christian ideas. Why deny that? I mean, you might not believe it, but you shouldn't deny it because it's obvious. I mean, what a human
Oh, it came down again.
rights, but a kind of derivation of a form of spilt Christianity.
Sounds like he's been listening to a lot of apologetics, a lot of guys like Frank Turek. Well, okay, yeah.
There's no reason to have human rights. They're not self-evident.
No.
Human rights aren't self-evident, right? So we're pulling from what? We're pulling from some sort of extra human source to derive our morality. This is interesting.
So I think that, you should just concede these things where they're true, and even if they're against your interests, and obviously for atheists it's against their interests very often, but nevertheless. And I also say that it's important to concede this because you should try to work out, I think, whether you want to engage in sawing off a branch of a tree that you're sitting on.
What an interesting metaphor. Do you want to soar off a branch of a tree that you're
Ruslan's never heard of that one before, apparently. Yeah.
sitting on?
Yeah.
And a certain amount of atheism does consist of that, I think.
Yeah.
This dude is a brutally honest atheist. I wish we had more atheists that were just transparent about this sort of stuff. Look, man, you can't really derive morality from thin air because if there is no God, then might is right. So therefore, it had to have came from somewhere. Clearly didn't come from us because stuff that comes from us usually leads to just utter evil and debauchery. So it had to come from an extra source like, in his case, he would say Christianity helped form a lot of our Western values, which there's definitely universal values that overlap, I would say, all cultures in terms of human flourishing. the nuclear family being one of them, meaning like mother and father together who procreate, have kids, and live together. Like that's a value that I would say is more or less universal, being in the same home. But there are there are other values that may be not viewed as universally, like, I don't know, women's rights. Women are equal to men. Okay, so that's a value that, like, yes, in the West, we would say that's a true value, but not other parts of the world where, you know, women aren't equal to men. Women can't drive in certain parts of the world. So I think he's correct in his assessment that these values do influence how people live in the West.
I think it's like I've always said, it's not the extremes where people say, if I need a God to tell me, well, first off, that's also not necessarily universal. What we define is not killing, right? We define separate from killing, but what we define is just the byproduct of killing in some other countries. But what about the other things, like, you know, not committing adultery? What about, like, you know, for example, you know, if you talk about like Saudi Arabia, allowing women to drive.
He used the example I just used.
You know, things like that. They're not universal values, and that's often taken for granted. But I think some people would
Okay, so we get the point. That's what he means by Christian atheist.
Yeah.
And I think
it's really not Christian, but he just, you know.
Yeah, and I think, and he also makes the comparison, if you go further into the video, which I don't want to just keep playing this video, but if you go further into it, he makes the comparison to non-practicing Jews who grow up in Jewish traditional households, and they consider themselves Jews even though they don't believe in God. You know what I mean? But that's more connected to, you know, nationality, bloodline, and everything like that. But he's saying that it's the same kind of idea, though. Like, if you grew up in a Christian household, you still are affected by those values, the Western Christian values that established this Western civilization that we have.
Right.
But
he go ahead. No, I was gonna say he honors that, though. He knows where that comes from.
I was just gonna say the same.
You know, but most people here, they don't know that most of their morals and values come from the Bible.
Right.
Yeah. And that's where don't be lazy. You gotta, where'd it come from? You have to ask. It can't just be enough that it's just tradition.
So basically, he's just a lazy Christian. He doesn't want to do no work. He doesn't want to do no work.
I mean, I don't think he's lazy. I think he doesn't connect it to, like, he honors it, but he doesn't connect it to, like, a heartfelt thing.
Yeah.
So he doesn't think he needs God.
So then it becomes lazy because your passion is what doesn't make you lazy.
Right.
And passion comes from the heart, you know.
Right.
So it's that's he's missing that connection, but at least he's honoring and he's honoring enough to recognize something, which most people, like, dishonor causes you to not even recognize what came before you.
Yeah.
You know, honor your mother and your father. Like, this is generationally, like, think about, like, just this country. Like, if we don't honor our forefathers, it's not about what they did wrong. It's about the ideas that they didn't even know fully, and maybe weren't able to fully grasp, right? But they knew these ideas were something that they put into law, right? They set their foundations on, but generationally, it's really like, think about our kid. Like, you want your kids to go take it further than you did, but your kids won't take it further than you if they don't truly honor you, and they have to be like, well, why did you do that? Where did that come from? They have that true honor. Is not just to do it because somebody did it. True honor is it's that love connection, you know. So now, like, if I love my parents, everything that they did that kept me safe, like, that's what I'm tapping into that, right? Like, where did you get that from? And it's crazy because people don't understand, like, that grace. That's grace. And it's grace that you don't even realize that covers your life, that has been, it's generationally, literally generation after generation after generation after generation has been living in this grace that is actually a mindset that wasn't even here before. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't, it's thinking that was outside of your mental capacity. You can't think of something that you've never experienced before. It's not going to come into you have to come into that place of experience.
Yeah.
If you don't come into that place, you will never think it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's realms. Like, that's actually a realm of understanding, a realm of thinking, right? And we take it for granted because we were born into these things. You know what I mean? We're born into these ways of thinking, and then we think, like, so then we dishonor it, because if our parents don't honor it, we'll definitely dishonor
Yeah.
it. And then it gets lost, you know, and that's what you're seeing in the country. So it's interesting, like, you know, how, like, that it's very interesting. Atheist, but yet he calls himself a Christian because he's honoring where he gets his ideas from and how he lives, right? But the problem is that those values become meaningless if you don't have the meaning.
Right.
Like, if you don't have the reason why it happened in the first place.
I think for a lot of years, that's where Jordan Peterson was too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think, like, as he's gotten older and as he's experienced, like, a lot of more hardships, even through his success, that kind of brought him back to the realization of, like, wait a minute, no.
Because you need that connection to where the real power comes from.
Right.
There's a void there.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be a void there until you recognize.
Same thing with his daughter, too. His daughter is now, like, trying to find that connection.
Yeah. That's why, like, fathers, shout out to Adam. What's up, Adam?
Yo,
Adam Fields.
Haven't seen you in a while.
That's why there's such a onslaught.
He called you by your gummy.
Jacob Eugene Evans.
Well, that's my name on the.
Yeah.
Jacob Eugene Evans.
So that's the onslaught of against men, against fathers, right, in the world, because fathers, like, if you look at the Hebrew, ab, right?
Yeah.
It's literally the strength of the house. It's what the house stands on, right? It's the fathers establish, right? Mothers sustain in that establishment, right? So fathers, they set up, right? They set a foundation. Jesus came in the authority of the Father. Like, everything that he did, he said, I see the Father do.
Yeah.
He didn't do it of himself. He said, I do nothing of myself. It's all in the Father, right? So that's the love transfer that Jesus did. He came and revealed the meaning to everything because he truly came from the Father. You know, like, so, and it's funny because love, I know you know this, Jamie, but love is a hab, which is the same thing as ab with a hay in the middle of it. You know, and the hay represents what is now being revealed, right? Or beheld, or the expression of one's heart now seen. So that's what the hay is. So now you put a hay in the middle of ab, now the Father's heart is revealed.
Talking Hebrew
and
guys.
I was just going to say that.
Talking Hebrew.
You have to say that.
Sorry.
This is Hebrew.
The hay.
Got some explaining to do, Jake.
This is Hebrew he's breaking down.
Yeah, that's the Hebrew.
The hay is the fifth letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So ab means father in Hebrew, and the aleph, it's just two, abba or ab.
Yeah.
It's two letters, aleph and bet. Like, that's where we get alphabet.
Yeah.
So, and aleph means it's like it's leader, it's strength. It's also represents an ox head. So you think about how strength works for a strong ox is gentle and works for you, right? And then also the bet, which is the house. So it's something that is embodied, right? So now you have to embody something. That's why spiritual things are hard to grasp, because they have to be embodied. That's why Jesus was embodied, right? The Spirit came, he was embodied. And what we're doing is we're pulling down what was in the Spirit and was embodied through Jesus, and we're bringing it into our own bodies so that it can be embodied in us. That's why it's hard to grasp these things, where it's outside of our comprehension. Our mental, fleshly minds or the way we think is outside of the realm of Jesus, right? But it can be grasped through Jesus, right? And that's why we're given the Holy Spirit. And these things, like, people don't get, and they're so, like, they become so simple than, you know, play school,
right.
you know.
Just pass right over.
Yeah, they don't make no sense. But so there's this separation and between us and God, right? And through Jesus, that separation is taken away. So now we start to comprehend the things that were not understandable. You know, and that's what's so powerful. And when you grasp it, and you know, like, that's what revelation is, right? When you grasp something, it's you never saw it that way before. You could read the Bible over and over and over again, right? But it's just, it takes this one time. You see it in a way where you never saw it before, right? You'll read something and it's like, wow, I saw that so many times, but this time it clicked. And what you're doing is you're seeing through a mirror. Right? You're seeing Jesus, but then he's reflecting back on you. So now you're seeing yourself in a way you've never saw it before. Now you can embody that, right? And if you embody it, you're bringing that into our earthly realm, right? And then you can work it in the realm of earth, and then it becomes a foundation. And so now it's something that other people you can give to other people. You know what I mean? You can work with other people. And that's what's happened in our culture in terms of America and the Western civilization, because little by little, the Bible was kind of separated from us, right? Like with Catholicism. But little by little, we started to receive more and more of the word. The separation was coming off. People started to be more educated, being able to read is key. The Bible being put in different languages was key, right? So now all these, and you see how, like, all these things are to keep people from actually receiving the freedom of God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that you can be bound to not knowing who he really is and not being able to have his grace embodied and then worked in the world. And then you have this guy who is an atheist who comes along, like, hundreds and hundreds of years, I would say actually thousands of years later, right? And he's benefiting from something that happened a couple thousand years beforehand. And when you honor that,
right,
you can tap into all that.
Yeah.
Because God's no respecter of persons. That's what's so crazy. Like, yeah, you can be an atheist and you can still benefit from that, because that's how good God is. You know, that's powerful. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, that's amazing.
2,000 years. What is it? What are we in? 2022.
2022.
Years since
give or take.
Yeah,
you know, it's not exact. A couple leap years. Not exact. Yeah, a couple leap years in there. The Hebrew calendar is way different than ours. You know. But yeah, man, that was good, man. We went through a lot of stuff, guys. We're at just over 2 hours. If y'all are ready to wrap it up, I'm good. Unless y'all want to talk about anything else before we get out of here.
NBA Finals?
No.
Man,
don't want to talk about it.
I don't know none about it.
I'm just joking. I jokey.
Yeah, but love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for watching, for tuning in. You know, Skeleton Crew tonight, we made it work. A couple glitches and hiccups. I don't know what was going on.
You see, for a minute, I was like, whoop.
Yeah. And then me over here, I'm hitting the buttons and they're all different. And then the screen kept coming down and going back. I don't know what's going on with that.
Weird stuff.
Yeah. But that's why we need y'all to support. And, you know, help us out here. If you do like what we're doing, like what we're talking about, you want to help build this kingdom, the Young Lion Kingdom, the pride of the Young Lions, you can support by going to our Patreon, patreon.com/YoungLionTV. Become a member on there. There's plenty of tiers to sign up for, whatever you're comfortable with. All of that seriously goes to us upgrading our situation. We were just talking about all the stuff that we need to get into our new studio and upgrade our stuff. And, you know, bring you guys better content, which is our goal. and more content more consistently. So, the more people that jump on board with that, we can get that going a lot sooner. Also, if you want to just donate, if you want to throw a couple dollars to the Lions, you can hit us on the Cash App, $YoungLionTV. And that's also where you can get these T-shirts, this merch that we just got, the new Young Lion shirts. And that's just $20 on the Cash App. Just put it in the subject, Young Lion T-shirt, with your size, and then we'll communicate and get it to you somehow. Also, we have a lot of new music that we're excited about. We've been working this year on getting a new EP done. We have some songs that guys been giving us that we've been writing and, getting done production-wise. So just stay tuned on that. Go to the website, Jatan.com. You can sign up there and become on the newsletter and stuff and get updates when our new music drops. And also you can get all of our other merch. The Jatan merch is on our website and our music is on there. And other than that, that's it, man. Anything else anybody want to say?
No. God bless y'all.
God bless, man.
Love you.
Pray for this country, man.
Yeah, there you go. Pray for the country. Adam said he loves the shirts. Hey, man, you got to get one. Support the Young Lions. But, yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Yeah, we love you.
Young Lion, go